Hey, Zine Fiends! Welcome back to another exciting installment of Zinespiration Chat. Today we are talking with Asta from Germany. She does Utopia Thoughts Zine. You've seen this on Instagram, and it's really cool. Craig and I were talking about this in one of our last videos for the mailbag that we did. But before we get into diving about that, we have to do our typical self-promotion. So the new Pocket Thoughts number 17 is out. That's my cute kitten there. If you don't have this issue, you should get this issue. Put my cat through college, please. Please. Craig, what's new with you?
Actually, I got an order for my issue number 5, along with a bit of a zine pack, which I haven't had an order for a little while, which was very exciting to get all of them together. So that's what I've been doing.
Very cool. Well, very cool. Well, Asta, welcome to the show. Utopia Thoughts, tell us about it.
Thank you. I make the scene Utopia Thoughts, which is a Riot Girl scene. Yeah, and I just finished issue 3. I have it here. It looks like this. So yeah.
Very cool. So I picked this up from Etsy just kind of on the whim after watching the movie Moxie on Netflix. I was like, I gotta get some Riot Girl zines, and I've always loved like the style, the cut and paste style, and the kind of in-your-face, punchy style of it. So very cool because I didn't know it was quite a thing overseas as well. I always thought Riot Girl was very much like a North American thing. So tell us kind of why did you get inspired to start making zines?
I actually started working on issue 1 of Utopia Thoughts in like late December last year. But I really also thought it was like an American thing. And I never really found anything European. But then I started finding like scenes from the US, and then through that I found other scenes from like a lot of different parts of the world, and it just made sense to start a scene because I've been into Riot Girl for about a year or something, and yeah, I really love the scene format, like the ability to like share things in a scene, and it was really like inspirational to find other scenes, and then I started my own.
Very cool. And yours is gaining some popularity, right? Because your first two you had to print more copies, didn't you? I think I saw because you couldn't keep up. You sold out of all the ones you had.
I don't really like sell them out because I don't make like a certain amount of copies because I just got my own printer that I've been saving up for in forever, but I usually print the copies at my mom's work because she has like a huge printer there, so it's just like whenever I need copies I just text her. But yeah, I've sold a lot of copies in my opinion. I never thought I would be able to ship it like out of Denmark, but it's like almost all the scenes I ship is to the US, and yeah, I find that really cool.
That is pretty cool. I mean, oh, sorry, Craig, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say the same as you. That's really cool. And I think when you do start, making zines yourself and you start getting international orders, it is very exciting. And it's very exciting to think, wow, there's other people that want to read this work, which is really cool. Is all of it in English?
Yeah, all I write is in English, mostly because before I started my own scene, I didn't know anybody else who spoke Danish and cared about scenes. So since then, I've found a few friends who are also interested in scenes, but most of what I do is in English. And then I'm working on a scene in Danish actually, which will be like an introduction to like the scenes in general, because I really want to what's it called, motivate other people in Denmark to start making scenes, because I just feel like it's something that never gained popularity where I live. So yeah, I really want that to happen, but mostly I just write in English because otherwise no one's really gonna read it. And the whole point is to share. So yeah.
So what kind of zines were you reading then that made you go, hey, I think I can do this too. I want to do this and put my own stamp on it?
The scene that really were what made me start my own, I think that was Loudmouth, which is like also a Riot Girl scene, and it's was the first one I bought because before I started like trading scenes, I had this concept that I didn't want to buy anything from the US because of like environmental reasons, and I didn't want like shipping. I've kind of lost that concept now because it's not very smart. But I bought Loudmouth as like a digital pack, so I got 5 issues just as a PDF file, and it just like made me realize that I didn't have to be able to use like digital programs and stuff like that. Like I could make it by hand and just scan the pages.
So you were inspired firstly by the loud wire, was it? Sorry, loudmouth.
Loudmouth, yeah.
Loudmouth. And
Mm.
have you found new inspirations in this past year of getting into zines?
I'm sorry.
Have you found new inspirations in this past year?
Yeah, definitely. I'll say I'm really inspired also by like old Riot Grrrl scenes from the 90s. Like the Bikini Kill fan scene is one of my favorite. And I also just got Jigsaw and Girl Gems, which is also like some of the main Riot Grrrl scene, if that makes sense. But I'm really inspired also by the scene Apple Tide, which is also from Germany, which is really cool because it was really nice because the girl Lily who makes apple tart, she's also my age and she also lives in Europe. So it's like it's really nice to find connections, and it's also easier to be inspired by people that remind me of like my own situation, if that makes sense. But yeah, I feel like every single scene I read now is really like I always find something where it's like this is really great. I'm gonna do something similar in my own scene. So I really feel like the scenes that I create is like a reflection of everything I read. Cause yeah, I really feel like the Riot Grrrl community there's really room for a lot of inspiration, and it's okay to like be inspired by what other makes, and I find that really cool actually.
So I just want to add on also. So originally the Riot Girl movement was also connected with music. How are you finding the connection now? Are you also connecting that with music, or is it just in the zine form? Please, I'm very interested to hear.
Well, I mean, I feel like Riot Grrrl now is quite different from what it was back then, and I don't know much about music. I don't play music myself, but I still find that there's like bands such as Froggy or Girl Band, for example, which is like really great Riot Grrrl bands that are like small now, and I think that everyone is really nice to like. There's this sense of community, even though that other scenes and bands live like on the other end of the planet, literally. You're still like connected through this movement, and there's still like this support. Like for example, I've pre-saved their albums when they come out and stuff like that because there's like it's still like we're still the same community in some sort. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at talking in English. I'm sorry.
No, this is
I hope it
perfect.
makes sense. But yeah, I still feel like there's this connection between the scenes and the music, and in general, the movement. I really feel like it's still alive through music too.
Nice.
So in terms of content, like just from the table of contents from this issue number 2 here, so lots of talk about pro-feminism, don't underestimate your own voice, probably not a feminist, never-ending movement, right? So very thematic stuff here. I love the quiz, the toxic masculinity quiz. That was a lot of fun. I don't think I don't think I'm a toxic male, so
You
kudos.
answered a lot of B's, didn't you, Ryan?
What's that?
You answered a
I
lot of B's. No.
0 Bs. So what can we see in issue number 3? Like, what's new? Is it carrying on with the same sort of themes?
I'll say it's like in general much of the same. I didn't show the table of contents. I actually think it's quite pretty in this one. It's yellow. And there's I have in issue 3 there's actually a manifesto, like the um, Utopia Thoughts manifesto. It looks like this. And the point is kind of like talking about what I want Utopia Thoughts to be, what I want to put in it in the future.
So
And
please,
yeah,
please tell us a little bit. I want to hear that. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
what? I'm sorry.
So please elaborate a little bit more. Tell us about what is on that manifesto. I'm interested.
Oh yeah. Well, it's I kind of want Utopia Thoughts to be like my dream for a better future because I feel like most of my life it's been like our entire generation. It's kind of hard to be like wanting a better future because like first of all, I don't have a huge platform to talk about issues that I find interesting and important, and I feel like we just have to like deal with what we got, and I really think that often it's hard to even have the possibility to dream for something better, and it's really easy to lose hope for wanting to change the world because it's like I'm 15, I live in Denmark. It's kind of hard to change bitter stuff. So I just want Utopia Thoughts to be like putting all that aside and then just focus on what would I do if I had the power to change the world, if that makes sense. So I just really want this to be without thinking of what is actually possible, but more of, yeah, really what would an utopia look like, in my opinion. So there's also this list, which is very Riot Grrrl related, which is called A Dream for a Better Future, with a list that's called What I Want to See in an Utopia, and then what I want feminism to look like in the future, like what I want to accomplish with my feminism. So yeah, it's what I want to see in an utopia, but mostly um, around feminism.
Cool.
Very cool. That's very inspiring. Like, I have a 10-year-old daughter, and I'm going to show her this so that she can see. There's 5 years difference between the two of you, right? And because she likes to make zines too, and try and stuff like that. So I think she'd get a big kick out of seeing what you're doing right now.
Oh, thank you.
So with your zines, they're sort of like cut and paste style. Do you have any other artistic style you're thinking about moving into, or something you did maybe in the past, or like kind of like why the cut and paste style? Is there any particular reason?
Well, to be honest, because I have never done like art on paper before I started making a zine. Because I've just always had this idea that I don't know how to do stuff. um, but I just feel like with like collages and cut and paste, it's a really easy way to make something look really cool really fast. And it's also just like I have it's a good way to like collect things. I When I go to thrift stores, for example, I buy old magazines from like the 50s to find old pictures in, and then it's just like a good way to put things together and make it look the way I want to, because I cannot draw at all. So it's just I think it's a really good way to like express what I want to. And it's also very Riot Grrrl. It's I feel like it's a really common way to do it. So yeah.
You don't see a whole lot of like this style of art in mainstream media anymore, like that old 1950s 60s kind of cutesy storybook looking style, but you see it popping up in Riot Grrrl zines all the time, right? Like, it's, I don't want to say it's a trope, but it's almost like a staple of seeing it in there. Like, you see it in like Jolly Ruin and like Slutcake and stuff. Like, she uses this kind of stuff in her collage art all the time. And I'm wondering if that's kind of, the Riot Grrrl zine has taken this over, and like no one else can have it now. It's theirs.
Oh well, I don't really see it that way. I just feel like it's a really like extreme way of showing what we mean, and I also feel like it's kind of ironic in a way because I don't want anyone to see me as those small girls in storybooks. Actually, those exact pictures on that collage you just shown is from a book I found, but I just feel like it's a reclaiming, like this is what we have been perceived as, and if we don't want to do that anymore, then we're allowed to, but we can also reclaim it exactly the way we want to. And it's not like now it's ours. There's no like we can't gatekeep those pictures. I just feel like um, it's freeing that we can use them instead of those pictures used against us. If that makes sense, because I feel like most of these stories are really sexist in like the way they show women. Especially young girls, and they all look the same. They all have blue eyes and blonde hair, and are skinny and white, and it's not the way we want it to look anymore. But I also think it's kind of problematic sometimes, especially because all these pictures from old books are either white or really racist. So it's really like all the pictures I can really use in my zines are all of white girls because I definitely cannot reclaim something that's racist. So yeah, but I really feel like reclaiming these old style drawings is a really good way of getting an extreme message. Because yeah, it's really confronting with how sexist the world is, in my opinion. I hope that makes sense.
Perfect
Oh
sense.
yeah.
So let's. I want to talk a little bit about your community around you, living there in Denmark. You said before about making a zine about zines in Danish. Is there anybody around you that is also into zines or into maybe Riot Girl, like a friend or even just a small community there?
Well, there was like nothing before I started being into Riot Grrrl. Actually, I really found it through the internet. Um, but well, I have kind of forced all of my friends to read my scenes, and most of them really liked it. So, and then I have kind of borrowed out my own scene collection and tried to get my friends to read scenes. And I've also one of my friends is making a scene currently, which I'm really excited about. And I've also found another person in Denmark. I actually found her through TikTok, but who also makes a scene. So yeah, it's like I know two other people who make scenes in Denmark now, but it's really limited. So which is also why I'm really grateful that there is so much community online, that I'm able to like find friends, especially through Instagram. Just it was really made in Riot Grrrl feels a lot more alive because before I really had a tendency of thinking that Riot Grrrl like belonged in the past. Like I was the only one who still thought that it was important. So yeah, I think it's really important to find this community.
Yeah, definitely. I think that the internet has really helped that, like especially when you do live in remote, not remote places, but places like like Denmark is kind of the feeling I'm getting from what you're saying. It's kind of there's not a lot of there's not a lot of Riot Girl happening there at the moment. So it's good that you've got that connection online. And you said about using TikTok and that. How are you? So you're using TikToks primarily for your zines or just for general use?
I don't really use TikTok at all. I was just really lucky to find one person on there. But yeah, I think TikTok is really scary, actually. I feel like everyone is kind of mad at everything on TikTok. Sometimes reasonable, but I don't really want to use TikTok.
I don't
But
use it. Ryan loves
It's
it.
a weird platform. Like I had to tell my kids that they couldn't use it anymore because you hear the stories that people are killing themselves on TikTok and leaving the camera going and stuff and like ugh. So yeah. There's I hate to censor anything, but sometimes you got to tell your kids that you can have it when you're older.
yeah, I also have a problem about like supporting TikTok in general because they are very racist and sexist in the way they show posts. Like there's people whose videos are just like being I'm sorry, I don't remember the English word for that, but not shown.
Promoting, I think. Yeah, they were promoting
Yeah, exactly.
certain groups, or like, and not promoting like kind of you know like, let's say people of color, people like that, the LGBT community. They were, yeah, mainly
Yeah, they
promoting just white straight males.
exactly. So yeah, but yeah, on Instagram there's a really great community. And also like it just like whenever a new scene pops up, I just feel like everybody is really fast to like go follow and share their posts on their story. Like when I started my scene Instagram account, I literally thought that if I was lucky, I would have like 80 followers as total. Because if I could make all my friends follow it, maybe. But I have like 700 followers on my Zine account right now, and I feel like that's so crazy. Like I would never dream of having that many people seeing what I create ever. Like there, I don't even know that many people in person. That's so crazy to me. So yeah, I really feel like there's this really strong sense of community.
Mm.
So tying it back, because you said earlier, the feeling of, sending your zines out around the world. Like I'm in Canada and I had your zine, and you probably never would have imagined that that would happen, right? And I know the feeling because one day I had to stop and go, oh my God, my zines have been all around the world now, like everywhere, the US, Japan, Australia, all throughout different parts of Europe. And it's kind of a humbling feeling. Normally, I ask our guests questions on what they think the future of zines is, but I think you have a pretty good idea of where you want to go with what you're doing. So, what would you like to see then from the future?
Like with scenes, or yeah. Well, I think that scenes really have like um the ability to stay, because I feel like scenes has existed since the 70s, I believe, or actually before. And yeah, it's really an old concept. And um, or now, like we could literally just create it by hand, take a picture and send to someone, but we're still like doing all the annoying parts about copying, and it takes forever and it costs a lot of money, but it means that now I have like a whole shelf in my room with scenes, and I really enjoy seeing people when they get my scenes and share on their Instagram stories or text me about it. It's literally the best thing ever, and I really feel like if the scene could survive social media, it's gonna exist forever, and I really hope so, because I really think um, like we are, I don't know when you say it's a generation, but we definitely is not the first generation of Riot Girl scenes at all. I don't know if you would say there have been one or two generations before us. Regardless, there I definitely think there will be more, and I think it's really great that um, scenes exist now, because I think that it will be inspiring for people of the next generation and next generation again, because I don't think that Riot Girl is especially will never be on actual, and I know it's that's only in Danish. Important. It. I don't think that Riot Girl will ever be like unimportant. I think there's also always something to fight for, and even though if we at some point have nothing to fight for anymore, I still think that scenes is a really important place to just like reflect your thoughts and also connect with people all over the world in a different way that you can on social media. Just in scenes, I feel like it's way more personal and way more creative and individual, where it's like in your scene you don't just like jump on trends, and it just doesn't move as fast as social media does. Like there's more time to reflect on what you actually think, that on social media. So I really feel like the format of scenes can stay forever.
I think that's probably the best answer we've ever had, Ryan. That's just insane. And I've never thought of it that way. Like, TV has died because of the internet and because of the way we stream things.
Yeah.
Books took a really big hit when ebooks come out. Yes, they've started to grow again, but zines have actually like cut through everything and continue to. I wouldn't say they're more popular or less popular. They kind of always been on this even par kind of thing. And even with the current circumstances with the COVID-19 and lockdowns, the internet has actually just kept holding zines up that has still just let them continue just like cutting through society like they do. Like that's a that's a really interesting answer. I really dug that answer.
They're not just giving people a voice to be heard, they're giving an unfiltered voice to be heard, right? So
Yes.
Apple has complete control over everything that's in this zine. I have complete control over everything that's in this zine, right? And there's no corporate sponsor saying, "Oh, maybe you shouldn't talk about feminism today because you've already done it," or maybe you shouldn't be doing this. It's like, no, fuck it. This is what you want to talk about. This is
Mm,
what's important to you. People who like it are gonna get it. People
mm.
who don't care aren't gonna listen. Fuck them. Pardon my language.
Um,
But the point I was getting to with having control over your own voice in the zine and what it is you want to see is you're seeing a lot more independent creators now taking it upon themselves to create works like this with small print runs, that they have the complete control over the message and what they put out there. But also, like, if they're making money on it, they get all that, right? And no overhead publisher is taking 80% of the profits and 90% of the profits. Like, when you sell this zine, you get the money for it, and that's I think we're going to see a big shift towards more, creator-owned, self-published works, whether it's zines, music, blah blah blah. Right?
Definitely. I also think like it was really like an eye opener because when I made the first copy of my first issue of my first scene, it was really like, okay, now I have it. What I'm gonna do with it? But it actually like surprised me. Like, well, it takes a lot of time to copy it, especially because I had to lay the pages a certain way to print it a certain way, and then I had made 14 pages, which did not line up because it has to be dividable with four in so I had to glue the middle pages together, and it was so annoying. But also, like, it weren't worse than that. And then I had like, then I could make as many copies as I wanted to. Like, I could make 200 copies if I wanted to. Well, I wouldn't be able to afford that, but if I wanted to, I could literally just make as many as I want to, and there would be like, it's yeah, it's just I think it's really crazy to think about what's actually possible, because I'd never thought of that. And it's really like, yeah, with scenes, I really feel like our generation, especially, is like capable of much more than I actually thought we would be able to do by ourselves. It really is like DIY for real, in a really great way.
and it sounds like you've also picked up a lot of skills, like you said just then. Like you're having to trying to format this zine to be able to make it printable, and then even at the start you said like I asked you a question about copying pasting, and you're like, well, I wasn't sure how else to do it. I can't really draw. So you're gaining all these artistic skills to create this zine that you didn't really have beforehand, or you didn't really think you could do beforehand. So kind of as the zine progresses through, issue 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I think you will also add to that list of skills that you're getting.
Yeah, definitely. I also feel like when I have a scene to write, I just feel like I pick up many more ideas than I would ever have before. Like, I spent it. I started working on issue one in December, and it was finished in February. And I felt like when I had finished issue one, like that was everything I ever have to say. Now I'm done. But then, like, I just kept getting ideas, and it feels really great that when I first like started thinking in the I actually have something important to say. When I just started thinking in that way, it's just like I just realized how much I actually have to say. Because I had been like listening to Riot music in forever, and I have read so many articles. I've read books and scenes and everything about it I could possibly find. But when I started taking like an active part in it myself, it just made me realize how much I really want to influence it. And then okay, I might not be able to do as many artistic things as I wanted to do, and I have no idea how to set commas in my texts. But it really doesn't matter because like if I don't care if the grammar is correct, and like I'm sitting with like an open tab with like Google Translate because I forget words all the time. But it's okay if my vocabulary is really bad, because if you can understand what I'm saying, then it's good enough. And there's not like it's not gonna be sorted out in some stupid way, because it's really just like myself who makes it, and I feel like that's really a great way of creating things.
Are you thinking about getting contributors at all, or are you kind of stay like you thinking about just keeping it just yourself?
I actually have some submissions in both issue one. No, not in issue one. In issue 2 and 3. And I'll definitely keep doing that. Yes. And also in issue 3, I think that was pretty smart because I color coded all the pages with submissions. As you can see, all the pages with blue background is because it's submissions. I feel like that worked pretty well. And I also think it's really cool to do that. Like before I started my own zine, I actually weren't really aware that submitting to zines was like a possibility. Otherwise, I think I would have definitely started doing that before I started my own zine, because it can really be like a great way to gain a platform without wanting to create a whole zine, for example. So yeah, I think I'll keep doing that, and it's also like really funny, like working with somebody else, even though it's just like deciding what page to put it on. But it's still like really nice to connect with other people through that.
Zine submissions is a funny thing because I see all the time on Instagram, call for submissions, open for submissions, and da da da. And I rarely submit to other people's zines. Like I rarely reach out. I think once I reached out and said I want to do a drawing for your Winona Ryder zine, just because I wanted to draw Beetlejuice characters. And I kind of wait timidly and hope that people will message and ask me to take part, because like as I'm not a shy person, but when it comes to stuff like that, it's like I'm not gonna message and say, "Can I be in your scene?" when I make my own all the time, right? Like it's cool. So yeah, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great.
Yeah.
I was also actually really worried that no one was gonna submit, because I feel like first of all, I don't think I would do it myself, because it would be like I don't want to waste pages in your scene, or like but also because everybody kind of asked for submissions, so I was like it would be really embarrassing if I didn't get any. But I actually received exactly the amount that I wanted to include. I got 5 submissions for it, and they're all really great, and yeah, it makes me so happy that I can include that. And yeah, I really hope that people enjoy having their art in my scene. I think they do, otherwise they probably wouldn't submit it. So yeah, that's really great.
What is something that surprised you the most getting into zines?
Well, I'd say probably that everybody kind of like values my work in a whole other way than I thought they would. Like, I felt like when I joined, in my head there was this like hierarchy. Is that how you say it? Hierarchy. Here, I don't know.
Hierarchy.
Hierarchy. Thank you. About and whereas like where I started in the bottom, and where every other scene was just like up here. But as soon as I posted pictures of my first scene, there were people messaging me and asking if I wanted to trade. So it was just like because I really thought that everybody else has been to like some sort of art school and knew everything about it, and I was the only one who started from scratch. But it really feels like maybe there's people who take long educations to do scenes, but it really isn't a must-have. And there's really like it's really great to have my work valued so much, because there's really people who think that what I create is worth as much as what everybody else creates. And yeah, I don't know, it probably doesn't sound that crazy, but it really felt amazing when I first started, and it still does, that people want to trade with me. That's really the best thing ever. So yeah, I think that was what surprised me the most.
Nice. Yeah. None of us have had. There's no zine education or anything like that.
No, well, except for maybe the first time you mess up using the photocopier or something, and it, it prints on the wrong size paper, or and you can't get it to cut the right way or staple in the right spot. Or as I'm always so impressed by it, you can't see it, but like with the stitching, instead of using staples, I love the touch. Like it's so cool.
No, it's actually because I don't have any staples and I can't really staple in the middle. So my friend just told me to use a sewing machine, and I felt like that was the smartest thing ever, because I used to sit with like a really huge needle and make holes and sewing them by hand, and it took forever. So it's really sewing machines was a lifesaver for that.
Look, the thing about zines, that's the thing about zines is things that you think are your weak points actually end up being what makes the zine. Oh, I don't have any staples. I'll just use a sewing machine. Like that. That's what makes the zine. Like everyone has their own style, and that's what really adds to the style of the zine. That's so cool.
And you're limited to what you've got to work with, right? So you don't have staples, you're using needle and thread or a sewing machine, but even just the space. So, what I like about zines as opposed to, say, blogging or vlogging or anything like that, is there's a limited amount of space on this page for you to put your words and the pictures that you want to use. So sometimes you got to pick and choose the words that you want to get across, right? Because you've only got so much space to do it in.
Yeah, really working in the limitations. I like that. And look, I don't have any other questions to ask or anything, but I want to say, I want to thank you for coming on this show today, and like it's kind of been a bit of an honor to be able to give you a bit of a platform and talk about like what you're trying to, what you're involved in and what you're trying to get across in your message, and that I think it was I think it's been fantastic. Thank you.
And thank you so much. I'm really happy that I could be in this. It's the first time ever I've done something like this, and I actually think this is the first time I've talked English to adults that weren't my English teacher. So it was kind of scary, but I'm really happy that I could be in this. Thank you so much.
It's okay. It's
Do us
good.
a big favor. Hold up the new copy. You've got number. I'll hold up number 2. You hold up number 3.
Sure.
Well, I'll hold up my hands.
Okay, Craig's gonna pretend we'll Photoshop number 1 into Craig's hands and tell everyone where they can get your zines.
What?
Tell everyone where they can get your zines.
Oh, on my Etsy. If you just search up Utopia Thoughts, it will be there.
We'll have it linked down below so you can click.
Thank you so much.
These are great. These are great. You should get them. Thank you so much for being on the show today, Asta. I had a great time. Like really inspiring, actually. So this was great. I think Craig agrees with me. And please keep doing what you're doing, because you're doing some awesome stuff.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Like I said, everything will be on link down below. Please definitely follow her and get some of her zines. Thank you very much, and
Hi.